Today we're going to be inspired by French artist Claude Monet, who was an Impressionist painter. He created many paintings of his garden. Here he is in his garden in France with his Japanese bridge and water lilies. We'll be creating a watercolor resist using oil pastels and watercolors, and we will be able to show depth and space in our paintings. We're going to start off our composition, our water landscape, with our lotus flower. So I'm going to use red. You can use whatever color you want for your flower, but I'm going to go near the bottom and I'm going to make a nice big lotus about as big as my hand, and as they go back they'll get smaller. So do you remember the steps? We're going to do a curved U. From the point we come in and in. Now I'll do the middle flat petal, and I can get a little side one in here and another little side one. Now I can do another one. Maybe this one's going to go back a little further so it will be smaller, but maybe this time I don't want to get all those details in. Maybe I do the curved line, and just the center part. Maybe I'll even go back a little further and I'll come right here like that, and maybe I just have zigzag lines, and I can even do some zigzag lines to show some more. Looks like it's looking down into our lotus flower. I think I'm going to leave that right like that. Now if you want to kind of soften your flowers, you can take your oil pastel, your white oil pastel. You can also use your finger to blend. Kind of looks like we're getting a little bit of shading in here. I'm following the petal when I do this. You're not going across. You want to stay in those lines because we're going to watercolor on top. You want to add just a little bit of yellow. That will kind of make it a little warmer and blend it like so. I had a little left over on my finger, so I just did that. Go to another one. Blend. Maybe this one I just put a little orange around the bottom to make it look like it's darker, the shadow's hitting. Maybe do a little orange inside. Get my white. All right, we can always add more later, but now I think I'm going to go ahead and add some lily pads. I have a couple different greens here I can choose from, or I can do a blue. I think I'll do the green. We're going to paint the water lilies, the lily pads. So when you do this, you don't need to color inside your lily pad. I'm going to go right off the page with that one. Maybe this one in the back I'll do just a little tiny one. Maybe this one I have a little couple ripples in. I might even have an overlapping one over here, have that go off the page. Yeah, I think I like that. You don't have to have flowers on all your lily pads. You can have some plain ones. I might go ahead and just create a little bit of lines around the edges of this lily pad. Pressing hard, because when we go to watercolor, wherever the oil pastels are, the watercolor will not pick up. Now we'll take, using our blues and our whites, we're going to add some movement, maybe even the purples, into our water. So think about which way the water's flowing, what happens when it hits the lily pad. It kind of will go around, so we're going to be looking for some curved lines to go around. Maybe some dashed lines. pressing hard. We add some darker ones. This will show up really nicely when we get our watercolors on top. I'm going to add some white. Pressing hard. I think I needed to add some texture to these. All right, when you have enough, it's time to water. I'm gonna use these opaque watercolors for this. I'm thinking blues and purples here. Get my brush wet, decide what color I want. Remember, we're moving across the painting. The more I roll my brush around, the darker it will be. I'm gonna try to get some different values. I'm using the dark blue and I'm going here, there, around the paper, and then I'll start mixing some other colors in there. Clean my brush now. I'm going to grab some of this purple. I'll blend it up into the blue. If it's not blending, grab a little water and mix it into the blue a little bit. Make sure you're working around your flower. So my brush strokes are moving across my page to help show that movement. I'm going to move down to this magenta color. Keeping my lily pads clean because I'm going to paint those. Get this other blue. There we have Monet's Waterlilies.